Shalawam, Shabbat, Shalawam, Yasharahla. All praises be unto thee, O Yahweh, Bahasham, Amashiach, Yahweh Yasharahla. Previously, last Shabbat, I went over a few attributes of our God. Like, for example, is he a God of love? Yes, indeed he is. He extremely loves Israel beyond a doubt. Is he a God that portrays any anger, any hate, anything like this? For sure, we know this. But for some reason, people want to push the narrative of our God being this little docile, cotton candy giving away, rainbow coalition kind of dude. That's not our God. So let's go further, Yasharahla, in this Shabbat lesson and see if our God portrays any hate Israel. So what we want to do, Yasharahla, is go straight to Psalms, and we want Psalms chapter 5 and verse 4, Israel. Psalms chapter 5 and 4, and I will read through to verse 7, Yasharahla. And verse 4, for thou art not a God that hath pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell in thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hateth all workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing the Lord, will abhor the bloody and the deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into thine house in multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship toward thy holy temple. So, Yasharahla, I will go on and have a breakdown from verse 4, Israel, because there's a lot in here. For thou art not a God that has pleasure in wickedness. So our God has no pleasure in wickedness, meaning he hates wickedness. What is wickedness? Going contrary to the law. That is wickedness. It is wicked to do the things that are contrary to the law. So the Most High hates that. But does he actually, well, he hates the sin clearly, but is he hating the person also? Let's find out. Neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. We already know iniquity is sin. Here it said that God hates iniquity, but before that he said he hates the worker of iniquity. So here it's plain as day, plain upon tables, that the sinner and the sin itself are both cast off and hated by our God. I will read that verse again. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Verse 6. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing the Lord, will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship towards thy holy temple. So Israel, from Psalm 5 to 7, we have already established that our God hates a fair few things. So let's go from there, Israel. Stay in Psalms, Israel. We're just going to go down a few chapters to chapter 1, and we want verse 5. So that's Psalm chapter 1 and verse 5. Therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. So again, it's saying very much the same thing. The Most High you will not stand with sinners. It's not going to happen. So verse 5. Therefore, the ungodly, them that break the law of God, shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. You shall be cast off, you shall be destroyed. Psalms, Israel, chapter 11 and verse 5. So Psalms chapter 11 and 5, Israel. The Lord trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. It's the very same thing that was said in Psalm 5 and 4. Well, Psalm 5 and 5. Says the very same thing as what is being said here in 11 and 5. The Lord trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. The wicked and him that loveth violence are them that keepeth not the law of the Most High God. So the Most High God hateth the sinner and the sin. Plain upon tables. Psalm 11 and 5 for clarification and edification, Israel, because these are things that no one shall try and trip us upon, as if we do not know our God. The Lord trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. All praises be unto the Most High, Yahweh, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. So Psalm, Israel, we're staying in Psalm. We want chapter 52. We want Psalm chapter 52, and we want verse 5, Israel. God shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place, and root thee out of the land of the living. Again, the wages of sin is death. Our God may love us, but if we dwelleth in sin, he shall cast us off, because that is what he hateth. We should not be in his bad books. Let's get in the good books, Yasharahla. All praises be. Let's go even further, Israel, and look 3 chapters up. Whoa. Yeah. Shar, Psalm 55 and 23. That's a hitter there. Psalm chapter 55 and verse 23. But thou, O God, shalt bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days. But I will trust in thee. Again, the Most High hates sin, and he hates the sinner. There is no mistake in whether our God has this attribute. There is none. But we'll keep going. Let's see if we are the ones getting it wrong, Israel. So we want, Israel, Psalm chapter 139, and we want verse 19. Psalm 139 and verse 19. And verse 19, Israel. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God, depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. The wicked shall be slain. We went over this also in the previous lesson, Yasharahla, where Yahweh Shai clearly and bluntly stated to bring them hither that wanteth him not to rule over them and slay them before him. We are not reading anything different here, because them that don't want the Most High or Mashiach Yahweh Shai to reign over them are the wicked, and are them that would keepeth not his commandments, so they must be destroyed. So Psalm 139, Yasharahla, and verse 19. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. Now, Israel, we can have a look at Revelation chapter 21 and verse 8. So Revelation 21 and 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So this is something that our God is going to punish for. But what we want to gain from this, Israel, is the hate that our God has for disobedience. He hated this thing. So to think that our God is docile or is only, like I say, handing out sugar candy upon his return is a big mistake. So from here, Israel. And this verse also, Yasharahla, ties in perfectly with Psalm 55:23 also. It absolutely precepts that one there. So we're going to go back to Psalm anyway and have one more look. We want Psalm chapter 34 and 16. So Psalm chapter 34 and 16, Israel. The face of Yahweh is against them that do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. You know how much hate you must have for a particular thing or person to want to cast them off totally from existence. This is a level of hate that we ourselves cannot even imagine. But I shall read that again, Israel. That's Psalm 34 and 16. The face of the Lord is against thee that do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. Total annihilation. That is what we're talking about. Total and utter annihilation of the wicked. Hate is at its highest peak. So, we want to go to Proverbs, Yasharahla, and we want chapter 6 and 16. Proverbs chapter 6 and 16, Israel, and we'll go through to about verse 19 in the reading. Verse 16. These six things doth Yahweh hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, those bloody men, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief. Verse 19. A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. I'll read that again, Israel, from verse 16 to 19. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16 to 19. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. Verse 17. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, he that soweth discord among brethren. This one verse would have actually shown that our God has the attributes of hate. Oh, he does. He does hate a few things, a fair few things. You see? So we're going to go further now, Israel. Even though we've already made the point, but we keep pushing. We want Zechariah chapter 8 and 17, Israel. Zechariah chapter 8 and 17. And verse 17 reads, And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oath. For all these are things that I hate, saith the Lord. So again, the things that our God hateth is the violation of his laws. So I'll read that one more time, Israel, because that's just straight to the point. So Zechariah chapter 8 and 17. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, meaning you should love thy neighbors. It's these laws. So you're getting warned not to do this. And love no false oath, for all these are things that I hate, saith Yahweh Bahasham Hamashiach Yahweh. All praises be unto the Most High. So Israel, from there we can go into Proverbs, and we go no further than Proverbs chapter 8 and 13. Proverbs chapter 8 and 13. The fear of Yahweh is the fear of Yahweh is to hate evil. Pride and arrogancy and the evil way and the forward mouth do I hate. You see, he's telling the things that he hates is plain upon tables. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil. I hate what God hates automatically. I'm sure it's the same for you, Israel. You hateth the things that your God hateth, for you walk the path of your God. You are now walking in his image, Yasharahla. So you cannot do anything else but to hate the things that he hates. Malachi, Israel. Let's go to the classics. So we're going to go Malachi chapter 1. It's Malachi chapter 1. And we're going to read from verse 1 to verse 4. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh has indignation, hate forever. So the Most High hate an entire nation of people, all those that stem from the rod of Esau are hated forever by our God. Yet our God loves us. Another attribute. So does our God hate? Indeed, he does. Now let's go and find this somewhere else. And we go no further than Romans chapter 9 and 13. So Romans chapter 9 and 13 reads, as it is written, as what is written? What I'm about to say. Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So where was that written? We just read it in Malachi. Again, Romans 9 and 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So does our God hate? Damn straight. Israel, we stay in Romans and let's walk down to verse 14. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. Hell no. Hell no. Why not? Because he does what he wants to do. He is God after all. You can't put my God in a box. So he do whatever he wants to do. Verse 15. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on who I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So with that, Yasharahla, I bid you farewell, my family, until next time. So does our God hate? Damn straight. Shalawam.